So I now have 162 stitches on my needle, and I have worked 124 rows. That was 52 rows for the first 6 inches, followed by 72 rows where I increased 1 stitch at each end of every alternate row to get to the 162 stitches. The work measures around 14 inches at the moment. I haven't done an accurate measurement. I've worked in a way that ensures that the increases on both edges of the work match. They look the same and they're very tight and neat. Moving on to the next instruction, shaping the sleeve cuffs. Here we are. Here I have to increase by 16 stitches at the beginning of this and the next row. So 16 stitches at the beginning of the next 2 rows, and I have to use a different method because it's more than a single stitch increase. There are several methods you can use. The pattern instructs using the needle method, but it doesn't explain this. So I'm going to show you 2 needle methods. The first one, we actually don't need the needle. It's a very, very simple method, and literally all you do is go like that, loop, like a thumb loop. So we've got to do 16 stitches at the start of each. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you can see I'm pulling it quite tightly. Thumb under, create a loop. 5, thumb under, create a loop. 6, just like that. Very, very easy. Here we go. How many have we done? So that's the, you can see that's the edge of the work. So the increases are 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. There's the last one. I'm going to knit them to show you how they come out. So because it's a knit row, literally all you do, yeah, same as any other stitch. There you go. I've done them quite tightly because what I do find with this is this piece here is getting looser. So no matter how tight you make it, you're going to have that loose yarn in between each stitch. I've snagged that one, so let's go back. There you go. So this little piece of yarn here is getting looser and looser as we go along. And you saw how tightly I cast on. And now we get to the first stitch of the work. So that's how it looks. It is neat, but I don't find that the best method. I prefer a tighter method. So I'm just going to show you the second method now. So that's a bit loose and it's less sturdy. So let's undo that. We need to keep that one because that's the last row that you worked. And literally we can just pull that off, take it back. Okay, so now I'm going to show you the second method. And this method you can either knit through, set my tension, you can knit through the front of the stitch and cast it on. That's one method. That's the way to do it. Just going through the front of the stitch. Or an even sturdier method, let me undo those two, is to actually go through both loops of the stitch. So you go right through to the other side and we're going to knit. So using the needle method, a different needle method, we're going to knit it on. So again, set my tension, take the yarn round, bring it through, slip the stitch onto the needle. I'm just going to move it down a little bit. So that's the first one. I need to leave it loose enough to put my needle back through again. So you can see I'm putting it through both loops. Probably see better there. Both loops of the stitch. So again, set my tension, take the yarn round, bring it through, take it over the needle. Don't tighten it. Put the needle through both loops, take the needle round, so take the yarn round, bring it through. Again, the work's getting heavy on the left hand side. Just going to, there you go. Loosen it up a little so that I can put the needle through. Set my tension, bring the yarn through, take it over the needle. So when I've done the 16, again I'll knit to the edge of the work for you, just to show you what it looks like. So far, don't include that one because again that's the end of the work. Remember, really make note of that, and you might want to mark your end stitch. I might do that at the other end actually, because I'm going to show you the increases from the other side anyway. So don't count that one. We have done 2, 4, 6, 7 increases. 8, 9, 10. Move the work down a bit. 'Set your tension. 11 coming up. 12. 13. 14. Loosen it. Just going to push the work down a bit more. 14. 15. That should be 16, but let's do another count just to make sure. So move the yarn down, move the stitches down. Here we go. So, like I said, you don't count that first one because that's part of your work. You can see it there. So we count 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. I have done one too many. Just do a recount. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17. That's fine. Slip that one off. There you go. So I've got 16. It's a little bit sturdier, we hope. I think it is. So let's knit these. So what we've got to do, we've got to knit to the end, but I'm just going to knit to the start of the work to show you. So through the front, take your yarn round. And you can see the difference in this one, you're not getting the loose yarn between the stitches, like with that earlier method I've just shown you. Now we're just about to knit the first stitch of the work. And we'll knit a couple more and we'll pause. So you can see, comparing that to the first method I showed you, this is far tighter and far neater. No looseness at all like with the first one. So that's a far better method. You might even consider using these two that I've just shown you, these two methods for your cast on, rather than the method I show you in the second video of this series. It's entirely your preference. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to knit to the end of this row, and then I'll just show you that same cast on method again, that same needle method. I'll just show you once more.